My name is Dell Hoover, and I've been a member of the Eaton Rotary Club now for a little over 40 years. And Rotary has meant a great deal to me. One of my responsibilities is I'm the club historian, so I wanted to give you a little rundown on the history of Rotary and especially the Eaton Rotary Club. Rotary was founded in 1905 in Chicago. The person most instrumental in that was an attorney by the name of Paul Harris, and he, along with four other gentlemen, began meeting in each other's offices, and they would rotate between those offices, and thus the name Rotary developed. By 1910, Rotary had expanded to all the major cities in the U.S., and the Cincinnati Rotary Club was founded in 1910. It was the 17th club to be chartered by Rotary. The Cincinnati Club is instrumental in developing the Eaton Rotary Club because there was a gentleman by the name of Carroll Peterman who had been president of the Cincinnati Rotary Club and was district governor and was married to a lady from here in Eaton. And there were some men that started gathering here in Eaton and wanted to form a club, and they considered other major clubs to be affiliated with. And one of the comments in the club history is that one of the gentlemen said that let's not settle for second best, let's see if we can get the best. And that was Rotary. And so they contacted this gentleman from Cincinnati, and they began this process. At that time, Rotary had a policy that they did not charter clubs in cities of less than 5,000 people. And so Eaton was less than that. But they arranged to have the Eaton Rotary Club include all of Preble County, which of course had more than the 5,000 people. And so it's a county-wide club rather than just the city club. It was chartered on May 19th, 1927, which is 90 years ago at this point. And there were 17 charter members of the club at that time. Today, there are over 1.2 million Rotarians around the world, and another 700,000 or so in younger clubs that are sponsored by Rotary. Interact, which is for young people between the ages of 12 and 18, I believe it is, and Rotaract is for college-age students and young professionals up to age 30. There are over 35,000 clubs in the world today, so it is truly an international organization. And one of the things that Rotary does is sponsors a lot of youth exchange programs, and we have participated, the Eaton Rotary Club has participated in that in years past, where we would have an exchange student, high school age, come in and they would lodge with local families, and they were treated just like members of that family. And they would attend the Rotary meetings, and they added a great deal of color to it. We've had students from, I think of one particular young man from Germany, and a gal from South Africa, and one from Australia, and it just adds a lot of color to the club. Rotary was an all-men's club until about 1990. And the first first lady who became a Rotarian was Leslie Renner, which many of you would know. She was the granddaughter of one of the charter members of the Eaton Rotary Club, and so the transition to bringing ladies into the club has proved very good for the club, and the club has maintained over the years that I've been a member of about 50 people. We'll fall below 50 at times. Sometimes we'll grow up toward 60, but it's usually, I think of it as about 50 members. One of the things I'm most proud of about Rotary is on the international side is the Polio Plus project.
Historically, it's a dreaded disease that's crippled millions. And previous generations would never have imagined that one day the world would actually be rid of polio.
I don't have bad news. I don't have good news. I have terrific news.
Because we are this close to ending polio.
We are this close
to making history.
The desire is to eradicate polio from the face of the earth, and that's particularly meaningful to me because I grew up in the 1950s when polio was the most dreaded disease that we saw. And I have friends who had polio, and some of them were able to lead normal lives. Others were just really a debilitating kind of disease. And but we're in the final stages of that project.
There is less polio in fewer places than ever before. 99% of the world's population is polio-free, compared to just 25 years ago when its victims numbered more than 350,000. Rotary and its partners continue their work all over the world.
This is a program with a vaccine that can prevent a lifetime of disability for just over 10 cents a dose.
I think there's 3 areas where there are still some cases of polio, not very many, but I think in Nigeria, in Africa, in Pakistan, and Afghanistan. And so for myself personally, Rotary is a means of staying connected, especially with many of the shakers and movers in our community. And if you want something done in the community, you'll typically find either the Rotary Club involved or at least Rotary members that are involved. And so for me, that gives me the ability to put in place some of the things that are important to me, and that's our motto is service above self, and I think that's a positive thing for Rotary and for the Eaton Rotary Club. Thank you very much.